Alcohol brand owners are to apply for a deferment of excise duties until the sales ban is lifted. The industry pays over 2 billion rand in excise taxes for locally produced and imported products. Let's get more then on this. I'm joined by the South African Liquor Brand Owners Association spokesperson, that's Sibani Mngadi. Sibani, thank you for joining me. So about 2.5 billion rand per month you pay in excise duty. You want that to be deferred until the ban is lifted, the prohibition on the sale and transportation of alcohol. Why is that?
Yeah, that's correct, Thulasizwe. Thanks for the opportunity. Maybe to explain how our tax system works, it's unlike your income tax or even company tax where you evaluate your input and expenses for the full year. In this case, we pay every month. So when you produce, clear the goods for sale or import it and clear it for sale, you are then liable for the payment of excise tax on that product. And we have anything ranging from 30 to 60 days within which we need to honor that payment. In this case, we are saying then we do not have that opportunity to sell these products that we are already liable for. They are stuck in our warehouses or in warehouses of retailers, and therefore government needs to give us this relief until we have an opportunity to sell this product.
Just for clarity, Sibani, that's an important bit of detail that you're bringing forward, right? In that this is a tax that you are expected to pay even before you sell a single unit of your product. It's at the point of production or at your warehouse if you are importing.
That's correct, Thulasizwe. What really happens, the typical imported whiskey will land in any of our ports, and once we clear it and make it our product and make it available for retail purposes, then we are liable at that point for excise tax on it, irrespective of whether we are able to sell that product or not. So in this case, even though we were shut down on the 28th of December, we still have products that we need to pay for in January as well as February and March, depending on whether it's a spirit or a beer product. And we are saying then those products that we are already liable for to pay because we can't sell them, can that be deferred until we have an opportunity to sell those products?
And there's a bit of an irony, isn't there, Sibani, because the excise duty, my understanding of it is that it's partly to discourage the consumption of your products, and it's also charged on other products where government would like to see lesser consumption, such as tobacco and I think petroleum and oil-based products to do with preserving the environment, right? And the argument is that this sort of preempts any potential harm that could come from consumption of those products, and therefore basically you have to pay this excise duty. I'm saying there's a sense of irony in that the ban is meant to mitigate any potential harm from the abuse of alcohol, and at the same time it's costing the state.
Yes, that's correct. The whole purpose of the excise duty on any product is to compensate partly for a potential negative effect or social effect of that product. So it applies then, as you correctly say, in alcohol and various other commodities. And we are saying those products are not even in the market as it stands now, and therefore we need not be paying for that potential liability in terms of negative effects of those products. But I think the point really is that even if we were to argue that there is a potential effect on the health system, our view is that if government was to allow the sale for home consumption, in other words, you open poker stores, make taverns a takeaway environment where people are able to purchase a sealed product, use it only at home, continue to apply the curfew and ban the gatherings, we will still achieve the same outcomes as we have in terms of minimizing the number of people gathering and having interpersonal conflict or potentially having any form of accidents at night.
Is that partly you acknowledging that government does have a point in terms of the rationale behind the alcohol ban, in that, things such as the argument that was made by President Ramaphosa around reducing the activity at trauma wards in our already strained hospitals? What you just said now about considering off-site consumption and home consumption, while at the same time thinking about this whole issue and impact of sites where people consume on site. Is that part of you acknowledging that there is something to the rationale that government has advanced?
Certainly not. If you look at how the alcohol ban has been implemented in all the three occasions, it has been implemented together with at least two other interventions. That is extended curfew, as we have it now, 9 to 5 a.m. Also the banning of gatherings in public. So we need to, in our view, we need to assess the contribution of all of those in terms of minimizing the impact on the health system. Our understanding is that we have looked at various countries, the US, the UK, where there was implementation of curfew, restrictions on movement. They've achieved exactly the same outcomes in terms of reduction of trauma in their hospitals, despite the fact that alcohol there was being sold, especially in what we call consumption sites. So we do not think that in that environment we need to be just assigning the outcomes, whether it's Baragwanath having no trauma case, only to the absence of alcohol, because certainly everyone who could consume alcohol would have anticipated that there was a possibility of a ban in the New Year's Eve, and have made effort to kind of secure some products. We also know very well, as the Produce Minister has discovered himself, that there's a lot of illegal trade happening in the country. So either people would have secured the product legally or illegally, but they did have it during that period of festive season and particularly New Year's celebration. And in the presence of alcohol then amongst consumers, the only thing that we can see as a major contributing factor is the curfew and abolition of gatherings.
I see. Sibani, lastly from me, your industry contributes upwards of 170 billion rand to the South African economy. That's the entire alcohol industry per year. What is the impact if this deferment of the excise duty is not granted?
Well, it's going to be difficult for the companies, Thulasizwe. The reality is that the two bans that we had have already impacted on our volumes, anything ranging from 20 to about 25%. On the government side, the revenue to SARS is down about 28% from 47 billion that they collected from us last year. And many companies are struggling to find cost-cutting measures. This includes reducing salaries, putting people on compulsory leave, and we are really edging into that space of retrenchments, and most companies are not filling the post. And in this case, we are appealing to government that give us this relief to at least just to keep the cost down and be able to honor some of the supplier obligations that we have, of which we need to renegotiate at this point. I think it's a fair enough ask in the context of the fact that it was a government decision that we are unable to sell, and therefore we need to postpone the payment of products which are actually not in the market in any case.
And very quickly, this is a deferment you are asking for. It's not that you are asking to not have to pay this excise duty at all.
No, it's actually delaying the obligation to pay until we have an opportunity to sell the products. We are fully committed to honoring our obligations to.
All right. Sibani Mngadi, thank you so much there for your insights. He's from the South African Liquor Brand Owners Association. And of course, it's not the first time. It's not unique what they are asking for. You'll remember sometime mid last year, at the peak of the lockdown, in the earlier phases, there was that deferment, and it was to the amount of some 5 billion rand that would have been due to government that was deferred, excise duty. And eventually, in October thereabouts, I'm told that the producers of alcohol and alcohol brands then started paying that excise duty when the ban on alcohol was lifted somewhat. All right.